I'd say one of the things that I'm kind of honored that people tend to come to me with is when they're dealing with anxiety that has to do with runaway thoughts. And I'm glad that I've gotten some of the point across that I can help with that, but here is actually what I tell people most of the time. When you have runaway thoughts, you have things that feel like they're out of control, it tends to spiral into the physical and then it starts to feel overwhelming. But in fact, the runaway thoughts are actually trying to protect you from further physical spiraling. It doesn't mean that it's always the best route or the best idea. It's just the best idea that your system currently knows how to do to protect you from further risk, further damage, right? Everything that's happening in your body, every thought that you're having is an attempt to help you in some way. Now, again, that doesn't mean that it is the best way. It means that it's the way that you're used to doing, that you're habituated to doing, and that undeniably helped you at some point in your life that was important, that was pivotal. And it may have been pre your current memories. It also may be more recent. So that alone can help people have a lot more compassion for the way that they're sensing and feeling. And I like to take this currently from a two-pronged approach. One is to deal with the momentary stuff. You have to have like a pressure release valve for what's happening in that moment, for what's happening in your body and what's happening in your thoughts. And that involves taking a pause, right? Which may be the hardest thing to start off with, but it involves taking a pause. And you can literally ask the thoughts to give you just a little bit of space. You come up with some creative energy, and somewhere inside of you, you go, please give me just a little bit of space. And if that doesn't work, you add on a reason. Say, please just give me a little bit of space so that I can hear you a little bit better. Okay? That alone often gives people a much deeper settling, and you can feel it in your body. Then you have the window of opportunity to say, hey, I guess I'll put this on YouTube, it's going to get a little long. Where is that thought coming from? And obviously this isn't logical, but play with me here. Where is that thought coming from? Either in or around my body or somewhere in the room, right? And it may represent to a person as a visual, as sort of an impulse. It may be just a sensation or kind of a knowing for whatever reason. Some people are visual, some people aren't. And they'll identify where it is. Where is it coming from? And if it's in a session, I'll ask for a few more details about that. If you're doing this on your own, it can be enough to just be like, okay, I see you. So then you direct your attention towards that area and just say, I see you. I'm here with you. What do you have to say to me? Or what do you have to tell me? Right? Thank it. Thank it for trying to help you. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy the first time, but a lot of times it is. A lot of times it is, because people have just never been taught that this is even an option to have a conversation with the part of you that's trying to help you in a way that doesn't feel very good. Okay? So that's the in the moment stuff, is to get a little bit of space and to ask what it's trying to tell you, because it's like, and it's just like a little kid, or like when I feel like I want attention with my fiance, I'm just like, and all I want is just a little bit of attention. And oftentimes simply turning your attention to the stuff in you that's freaking out will help it to calm down. Okay? All right. And it's the opposite of pushing it aside, right? It's the opposite of trying to silence it. The other side of things is, of course, the more proactive stuff, because you don't want to have to constantly stop and give all your attention to the thing, because you got shit to do, right? But there's a leadership aspect to your system. And what I found for me personally is that I have experienced incredible shifts based on, instead of always going and seeing what everybody needs, whatever that means, right, in your system, is to take a more proactive approach from a leadership role. In internal family systems, this might be considered self-energy, which is a psychological system, which is really super interesting. You might be interested in if this intrigues you. But it can also be like quantum field stuff. It can be positive thinking in a way, right? We don't want to ignore all of the things that are going on in us. We want to get really good at sussing out and feeling them fully so that you can recognize where they're coming from, learn from them. And you also want to take on a leadership role, because if the system is totally disorganized and it's just all over the place and there's panic and chaos, there needs to be an adult in the room, and that adult is in your center, is in your capacity to tap into what it is you actually want to create, what it is you want to believe, what it is you want to have moving forward. So when you express desire, when you express wants, right? Those are important things to pay attention to. I'd love to say that if you have something that you hear and you're really skeptical about it, but that skepticism is kind of protective too, because you're like, man, it'd be really nice if I could believe that people were inherently good, or it'd be really nice if I could believe that this was happening for me, but I just can't, right? Or something kind of pessimistic like that. That to me expresses that you would really like, you just said it, to actually believe the thing. So tap into those types of things. Write it down, journal it out. What are the types of things that you would actually want to be happening? And if you don't want to commit that much time to it yet, start off by just noticing for 30 seconds, twice a day, 3 times a day, just think about something that you actually want to happen, and have that be the leadership role in your system. Feel it as deeply as you can. Speak about it in the present tense. You can start with, I want to be happy. And you feel that. What would that feel like if you were happy? I want to be able to be happy no matter what's going on around me. Okay, so imagine something. What is the limit for you right then? About like, I could imagine being happy, I guess, if this situation was happening, but not that situation. So you figure out what that middle ground is for you. And you're progressively loaded. I wrote about this in my newsletter recently. Sorry, timer is off. And just go into thinking a couple of times a day, or some point where you're not having runaway thoughts, right? You are already calm, and start to give yourself that positive influence from within yourself, where you focus on feeling into what it would be like to have something that you actually want to have happen, to have something that you actually want to feel, okay? That proactive aspect can make a huge difference in the way that you operate throughout your day, in addition to having more openness, care, and attentiveness for the times where things are going a little woohoo, okay? So let me know how that works for you. Let me know if you have any questions. Sign up for my newsletter. I'm going to have all the links below. I hope you guys are having a great day. And if you need more help, I'm going to be posting about stuff like this more often. And I'm going to be doing some kind of a presentation for people in private soon.